Hi, I'm Bruce Case, an applications engineer at Dairyland Electrical Industries. In this short video, we will investigate some of the most popular mounting options for Dairyland decouplers. All of these decouplers and accessories are manufactured by Dairyland, with many mounting arrangements available to meet the most common installation scenarios. Let's explore some of those options. To better understand the requirements for mounting a decoupler on an insulated pipe flange, it might be a good idea to briefly review the components involved from a pipeline perspective. Depicted here is an exploded view of a typical insulated joint as used on a pipeline. Notice the various insulators that provide complete isolation between the two pieces of pipe. The flange insulator is typically a 1/8 inch thick gasket which mounts between two raised faces on the face of each pipe flange. The insulating sleeve and insulating washers guarantee that every flange bolt not be in electrical contact with the metallic pipe surfaces. We will start first by examining our universal flange bracket set called the UFB kit as applied to our PCR decoupler. UFB brackets are a very popular mounting option as they afford both a rigid mechanical mount and a very short electrical path, which is always desirable from a lightning arresting standpoint. In this installation, a set of nickel-plated copper brackets are installed on a flange at one insulated bolt location. The brackets shown in red are held tightly to the flange face by the flange mounting bolt. It is important that the flange surface be prepped to bare metal so as to be electrically conductive with the mounting brackets. We recommend that an anti-corrosion gel be applied to the bare metal surfaces during installation to prevent corrosion at the joint interface. Tef gel, which is a fastener lubricant and an anti-corrosion agent, is supplied with each decoupler for that purpose. The UFB brackets are manufactured in an oversized configuration, allowing us to both trim excess bracket material and to drill the correct size pipe mounting holes before we ship the brackets. For this reason, we ask that both pipe size and pipe class be furnished when ordering brackets. All necessary stainless steel mounting hardware is provided with the UFB mounting kit. You can see from the video that field installation of the decoupler is a straightforward process with no additional trimming or drilling of material required. Occasionally, customers will require that a PCR be installed on a section of vertical pipe. In this case, we offer a horizontal flange mount kit. This is a 3-piece bracket set, also supplied with nickel-plated copper buswork and all required stainless hardware. Again, we will require the pipe size and class when ordering to allow us to trim and pre-drill all the brackets to the required size. Some customers want to mount decouplers using a welded tab to each pipe flange. This is usually available as an option before a pipeline is commissioned, as welding is not normally tolerated on an operating pipeline. Shown here is our weld tab mount option, which consists of two plated steel brackets. The customer must grind the proper radius on each bracket before welding. Each bracket set is supplied with a wood template that simulates the required spacing for mounting a PCR. Using a PCR as a template is not allowed, and in fact it voids warranty, as excessive currents can easily flow through our decoupler during the weld application. Weld tab mounts also fit our SSD and OVP2 line of decouplers. We will talk about some additional mounting options for those decouplers in a moment. While the brackets shown previously provide the simplest application of a DEI decoupler, we realize there are situations where the decoupler be installed adjacent to a pipeline. In this case, we offer our pipe mount kit, which contains a section of 2-inch pipe and all necessary hardware as shown here. Customer must pour a small block of cement to encapsulate the provided anchor bolts. The kit does not include any cables or wire terminations, but these can be optionally ordered from DEI as well. We always recommend that cables be kept to a minimum length and in general should not exceed 8 to 12 inches of total length to allow the most effective clamping of lightning-induced voltages. Keeping the leads as short as possible is always desirable in any decoupler installation. I will point out that our Class 1 Div 1 version of the PCR for full hazardous environments, called the PCRH, shown here in the corner, also lends itself well to pipe mounting. When ordering the pipe mount kit for the PCRH, a slightly wider stainless steel mounting plate is provided to accommodate the wider body of the larger enclosure which is found on the PCRH. While our decouplers are fully rated for outside exposure, there is the occasional requirement to provide additional protection for the decoupler installation. Dairyland offers a fiberglass pedestal that is pre-drilled for installation of a PCR unit. This is a 2-piece locking pedestal with a flanged bottom that is typically buried just below grade. Pedestals are popular in both urban and agricultural applications to minimize public exposure. This is also a very popular mounting option for AC mitigation installations. For those installations where it is desirable to more fully hide a PCR, DEI offers a subgrade vault which is installed flush with the grade. The removable lid is rated for vehicle loads. This is an open bottom vault, so if a customer anticipates flooding of the vault, it is important to specify a sealed version of the PCR, as the standard PCR is not rated for submerged applications. Let's turn to the SSD line of decouplers and mounting options that are available. In most cases, a family of mounting brackets is offered that parallels those available for the PCR. Shown here is the flange mounting brackets for the SSD. Again, a customer should specify pipe size and class when ordering. Pin brazing is a popular option for mounting the SSD family of decouplers. In this installation, an 8mm brass stud is applied to a pipe flange. A template is provided to help locate the studs on the pipe flange at the correct spacing. DEI does not sell pin brazing equipment, but we can offer recommendations for several vendors. Similar to the PCR pedestal installation is a smaller pedestal sized to match the SSD. Same features here as on the PCR pedestal. Another popular option for mounting the SSD on a vertical section of pipe is to use pin brazing in combination with a special hex coupling nut. Here again, 8mm studs are applied to the pipe with pin brazing equipment. The standard mounting bracket supplied with the SSD is utilized as a physical mount. A hex coupling nut is supplied, which is tapped on one side to match the 8mm stud and tapped on the other end to accept the 5/16 inch bolt used on the SSD terminals. The hex coupling nut provides both a physical mount and an electrical bond to the pipeline. The other terminal of the SSD is connected electrically with standard cabling. When ordering an SSD for this style of mounting, do not include the R option in the model number, as the terminal orientation of the SSD is rotated 90 degrees from what is shown here when the R option is specified. pin brazing using the previously discussed hex coupling nut lends itself well to gradient control mat installations. Here, two sections of 8-foot by 4-foot mat are CAD welded together to form a permanent constant potential barrier at vertical pipe riser locations. This installation minimizes step and touch potentials for workers in contact with a pipeline. Although only one wire is required for connection from the SSD to the mat, most pipeline operators bond 2 wires for redundancy. We should emphasize that keeping the lead length as short as possible is very desirable to minimize touch potentials. Our recommendation is from 8 to 12 inches. A zinc anode is required as well in these installations to provide galvanic protection of the mat itself. I should point out that our OVP2 decoupler shares the same physical mounting arrangements as the SSD family of decouplers. So all brackets previously discussed for the SSD will fit the OVP2 as well. Shown here is the standard stainless mounting bracket that is supplied with the SSD but is optional on the OVP2. You would have to order that separately. The bracket may be removed for all installations and is not actually required. Just to note that the OVP2 decoupler may not be used in environments where AC is continuously present, but is intended for DC overvoltage events only. We turn finally to the OVP family of decouplers. Because the OVP includes a permanent flexible wire as one terminal, the bracket options are slightly different than for a PCR or an SSD. Shown here is the standard flange mounting bracket option, similar to those we've already talked about. Just a reminder again that OVPs cannot be used in locations where continuous AC is present, as they are not rated to pass AC current continuously. Because the OVP has a tapped hole in the bottom, it lends itself well to mounting on a threaded stud that is tapped into the pipe flange. This kit can be supplied in both English and metric versions. For English versions, a 3/8 by 16 and a 5/16 by 18 thread are required. For metric installations, a metric 8 by 1.25 and a metric 10 by 1.5 should be tapped into the pipe flange. A matching compression connector for the bare OVP lead is supplied as well. Almost identical to the previously shown tapped thread installation is the welded bolt option. Here, a customer can apply the OVP to a previously welded stud on a pipe flange. Some operators require that a small 3/8 inch diameter gas line be protected from flashover where it joins a main pipe at an insulated union. Our latest mounting option provides a means to install an OVP such that one terminal is bonded to a pipe of up to 1.25 inches in diameter via an L-shaped mounting bracket that also provides a physical mounting platform. The other flying lead of the OVP is bonded via a small clamp bracket to the 3/8 inch diameter gas line. The clamp bracket provides a uniform clamping pressure on the small diameter 3/8 inch tubing. Note that the clamp bracket can be supplied as a separate item for customers who desire to use it with any decoupler in our product line. Thanks for watching this short video. Please refer to the Dairyland website for full details of the wide range of accessories for installing decouplers. If there are any questions about using the Dairyland line of decouplers, please feel free to call us directly to discuss your application. We have installed decouplers in every imaginable scenario, so it is likely we already have a solution for any installation you have in mind.